Hey, welcome to the Mind Hacking Habits presentation of day 27 of the 45-day Mind Mastery 101, $1,000 course that we're giving away for free. If somebody sent you, then you need to get into the forums and say XYZ sent me so that they and you are entered into a free drawing for a $100 Amazon gift card at the end of this. Both the referrer and the referee get entered into that drawing, so take advantage of that. It's free. It's free. I mean, we might give away more than one. Who knows? Anyway, we hope this message finds you well. Without any further ado, here's day 27. Hey, welcome to day 27 of the 45-day Mind Mastery 101 from Mind Hacking Happiness. So if you hear any spurious noises, my son is in the studio today, so if you hear a little Star Wars music or Star Wars sound effects, that's what's going on. How you doing over there, buddy?
Good.
Okay, excellent. Today we're going to talk about how your anger works. Last week we talked about how your fear works and the severity of emotions, that type of stuff. We don't have to cover the severity of emotions moving forward, so we're just going to show you how your anger works after you participated in the journaling exercise from yesterday regarding your anger. So let's get into that. Here's how your anger works. If you remember last week, we talked about fear is the emotion that arises when a threat to self is present. Well, anger arises when the mind perceives an attack on self. So the basic definition is exactly the same, except one word is changed. And this definition goes back to the days of Aristotle, who first outlined this for us in a lot more words than I'm using and much more eloquently. But basically, it is boiled down to this. Anger happens when your mind perceives an external attack on self. And that's basically it. So, the variations of anger are: a low level of anger is kind of annoyed. Level 2 is kind of a frustrated. Level 3 is angry. Level 4 is hate. Level 5 is, full-blown rage. And again, these definitions are subjective, right? They're just words that we use for different levels of anger, and there could be 15 levels of anger, depending on the number of words that we use to describe perturbed, right? What is perturbed? Who knows? And of course, anger works the same way that fear does and all other emotions does, in that it starts with a self item that is affected by the world in some way, that it's being attacked, and you want to defend that attack. You want to contest that attack. Anger is that emotion that gives you that extra oomph to say, hey, no. That's not going to happen, whether it's your idea of like a child being slapped in the public grocery store, right? That might make you angry because of an attachment that you have that children shouldn't be slapped in the face at all, or in public forum, or whatever your attachment is, right? That's going to be an attack on yourself. Every one of your self items, whether it be a person who's near you, right? If someone's attacking someone you love, you're going to get angry. If it's someone's attacking a position that you have an idea of self in the brain of, you think abortion should be legal or not legal, or you think that conservatism or liberalism is the way to go in politics, or whatever it is, if there's something on your self map that is identified as your potential portion of self, if that's attacked, you're going to get angry about that, associated with every one of your equations of emotion that are processed. All right? And of course, the simple way to look at it, the expectation and preferences set by the self items automatically. It's always going to be the same. It's never going to change. It is completely congruent with how your self map is created within your mind. But the perception, there's going to be a little variation of the perception, where the perception of fear was there may be a true devaluation of self coming, or a threat to self coming. This perception is there is an invalid threat to self. There's an attack on self being made by someone or something, and that's going to create an anger response in you. So now we understand our very particular angers associated with everything on our self map. An attack on self item creates anger about that individual situation. So you can have anger about that individual perception being an attack on that individual self item, works the same way with all emotions, okay? But it's that simple. That's why you get angry about things, is that you perceive an attack on something individual on your self-map. That's what it's all about. Now, we can understand particular angers, but we can also understand a general self-value that can create anger about your general attack on self. Like someone calls you a name, like, oh, you're an idiot or whatever, right? They're trying to devalue or trying to attack your general self-value. And there are a lot of instances where, people can make little comments like, well, you're just a Democrat or whatever, and they're trying to devalue your whole existence of your group, your tribe, it's a devaluation of it. It's an attack on self, and that's what makes you angry or annoyed about those little comments or positions that people can have that attack your sense of self, right? So we can have individual items on our self-map being attacked, or we can have a general attack, and that will create anger for us as well. So now your homework for today, after we've explained the basics of anger, is to review your journaling from yesterday and ask yourself, okay, for all the things that came out on this journaling sheet, what is the EP for every instance of anger that I have experienced? And then what is the P? So what is my expectation or preference for every instance of anger? And then what is my perception for every instance of anger that I have written about in my journaling exercise? And that's it. And by the way, this puts you into meta-awareness, so we're strengthening your meta-awareness muscles as a homework assignment for this. So grab a new sheet of paper and list out the things that you talked about in your journaling exercise. Just list them out as topics and then say, what is my EP associated with this? Maybe it's the idea that X. And then what is the perception? What was the trigger that causes my angst regarding this sentence that I wrote in my journaling? And again, don't worry. If you wrote nonsense or whatever, it's going to be, it's not going to be shared. This is only for you. This is an exercise of you getting to learn your own mind better, and so that you can understand the granular operation of your mind as we move forward. I hope this message finds you well. I will talk to you tomorrow. Peace.